Hi everyone, Charizard Oz here. Yeah, a bit of an exciting moment for me. I've had these for a couple of weeks now, but I finally got the chance to do a video. I've finally completed my PSA 7 first edition starter trio. So there's the 3 cards there. I thought just out of interest for this video, I've also purchased a microscope, so I might go over the cards, and in particular the first edition stamps, because all of them are actually quite different. This one you got, apparently it's a thin stamp. I mean, I always thought that this stamp was thicker, but apparently the thin and thin are named that way due to the number 1. So apparently this is thin. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I always thought it was thick, but researching online, I think I'll learn otherwise. But this Venusaur is probably, condition-wise, probably the best out of the lot. I don't know if there's scratches or print lines, or maybe even like a weird type of crease. Not even sure what that is. To be honest, it actually looks a bit like, if there's a scratch, it's a very weird scratch because it's all like perfectly horizontal, and yeah, perfectly straight. So it is quite a weird defect. But other than that, the front's really beautiful on this card. The back, I reckon, has the most edge wear of the 3, mainly along that right hand side there. I'll just run through them quickly, and then the Charizard has the thick stamp apparently, but yeah, the stamp, the actual black stamp itself is thinner, as you can see, and the number 1 is thicker. But this card's really beautiful too. Love how dark the colours are on this. You can see a bit of like wear from, I assume, coming from any out of binders and that on the hollow. Other than that, the front's really good, and then the back has some edge wear as well, which isn't as bad as the Venusaur, but there's a little bit there. And then the Blastoise is an interesting stamp, which is why I'll go over them with the microscopes, because this one you got, I mean, the thick number 1, so technically a thick stamp, but yeah, the edition writing's a bit thicker too, but this one's really nice too. The front's quite good. There is a little bit of an indentation you can see in when that light hits it to the right of the number 1 on the edition. That's the main thing at the front, and then the back has some edge wear as well. But yeah, I'll go over these with a microscope now, just yeah, out of interest. In particular the first edition stamps, so I'll get right into that. Cool, so here we are. We've got the first edition Charizard here first. This is definitely the cleanest stamp out of the lot, and the stamps do vary a fair bit, obviously, with the thicknesses of the writing, but also there's even genuine defects such as like smudging and like the light grey stamp, but smudging's a big one, like the stamp's not being dry in enough time, and you even get cards, the backs of cards with first edition stamps on them. But this one here is definitely the cleanest of the lot. One of the downsides of it being a PSA case is that you can see a bit of reflection of the light from the microscope hidden up against the case. So it isn't as clear as I'd like it to be. But yeah, you can see, I mean, colour-wise it's quite good. I'll just try and get a bit more, see if I can get any more focus. When I do get focus, so it does move the microscope around. So just trying to get focus. Oh, there we go. That's pretty good. It's interesting seeing the texture of the card too under a microscope. Like, it almost looks like a bunch of holes or like fabric, which is quite cool. So yeah, that's that first edition stamp. Let's just adjust the focus a bit more. On the Charizard, looks really good, and all 3 of the cards, the kind of the shine or the texture, I suppose, of the stamp looks very consistent, and the colour, yeah, I suppose more the sheen or the shine. Now we've got the Venusaur. So yeah, this one, I mean, to me it looks like a thick stamp, but apparently it's the thin stamp because they go by the number 1s apparently. Just try and get that a bit more in focus. So yeah, that's the Venusaur one. Sorry for it shaking around. Every time I focus, it's obviously moving the microscope around. There we go, that's a bit better. But you can see, like, the actual edition writing looks a lot more smudged. I suppose with it being a lot thicker, looks a lot more smudged than the first edition Charizard. It looks as though like there's some bits that have smudged or faded, but I think that's more to do with the light that's reflecting on the PSA case. But here we go, that's probably a bit too far. Try and get that in focus. So this, I'll actually show this microscope at the end of the video too. It's actually quite a good microscope, only $35 on eBay, which is quite a cheap one. It's obviously nothing too crazy. I might invest in a better one later on, but just something interesting to have. Is a good way, I suppose, to look at your first edition stamps when you have raw cards and make sure that they're genuine. So that's the Venusaur there, and then I'll go to the Blastoise. Blastoise, here we go. So you can see, like, this one looks quite similar to the Venusaur, but you've got a thicker number 1. And I suppose, I wonder if this one's actually didn't dry as well as the other two, and potentially been smudged a little, because it doesn't look as clean as the other two. I mean, it's obviously hard with as I said, with a PSA case to see it as well as I'd want to. Here we go back the other way. That's a bit better. But yeah, you can see that it seems a little bit more smudged than the others. The one isn't as clean, but these, yeah, as I said, these stamps do vary a fair bit, but it's just good to know. And I suppose the most important thing, apparently, I mean, I haven't seen a fake first edition stamp. If anyone's selling one, I love to buy it, because I love to put a fake one under this microscope and see how it comes up. But apparently the biggest giveaway from other videos I've seen and things online is that the shine on the sheen, or I suppose, yeah, on the first edition stamp, obviously here it looks kind of like a matte thing, but I've heard of fake ones looking really glossy, and then they've just been able to wipe it off with a Q-tip with some water or their finger. But yeah, that's those there. What I thought I'd do out of curiosity as well is put some raw cards onto here. I'm going to try and leave the plastic sleeves on just for a bit of protection, obviously, while they're underneath. But if it does shine a fair bit, then I might take it off. This one here, it is shining a fair bit, but look, I'll go a bit closer and see. This one here is a shadowless Charizard, so see if I can find his face. Oh, here we go, there's his mouth. But yeah, you do have that light reflecting. What I might do is I'll take off the sleeves and put a sleeve underneath just to help protect it while I go over this, so that I get a better look at it. And we'll see, hopefully it'll stop the reflection on this microscope. So that's a Charizard's mouth there. So it's quite cool to see under microscope. I've never actually looked at this before. I haven't looked at a raw card under this microscope. It's cool to see just how clean, even under microscope, all the text is. Try and get better focus. It's actually quite similar in the reflection. Maybe the PSA case didn't do all that much. I suppose just the light on the microscope does the trick, really. So there's number 100 and there's attack. I'll go over maybe the text at the top. Oh, there's Charmeleon there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just really cool how clean these cards are under a microscope. There's the 120 HP. So that's the shadowless Charizard. I'll even put the legendary holo. I think this would be a cool one to look at underneath the microscope. I'll leave this one double sleeved, just because this one's a pack fresh one that I've pulled, so I don't want to risk damaging it at all. And to be honest, this reflection that came off it, the shadowless Charizard, even when it was raw, didn't seem to do that much. I mean, it is a bit hard because of that light on the... Actually, I'll try and turn it down and see if that helps. Oh, that's as low as the light goes, I think. Yeah, that's obviously bright. Actually, it's funny because the legendary holo, you don't really see much of it under here. So we're at the moment, I'm kind of like... I'll go over the legendary collection logo so people can kind of see where I am on the card. But yeah, obviously the fireworks holo section, it just literally looks like, yeah, just all like a full holo. Like you can't actually see the firework pattern in it, I guess because how much light is shining on it. It almost just looks like foil or something like that with like a texture to it and all that. It's interesting how all the lines are consistent. But then I'll go to the Charizard image. There's Charizard there. Try and get a bit more focus. There we go. And there's Charizard close up. There's a Charmeleon at the top there. But yeah, there probably is a bit more reflection, but I apologise, don't really want to risk taking this one out of the double sleeves. But yeah, there you have it. I'll also show this microscope too for people that are curious about it as well. So yeah, there we have it. That's the 3 first edition stamps I went over. That's a shadowless Charizard that went over the microscope. This one actually went over raw, and the legendary, which I just went over with the sleeves both on it, but it was quite cool to see. see what it's like. The legendary holo wasn't actually as impressive as I was hoping it'd be under a microscope, but still pretty cool. And then for those who are curious, this is the microscope that I got, 35 Australian dollars, just on eBay. So you can see there's a light that comes on. That's the light that kind of reflects when it's turned on. Oh, come on a second. There we go. So that's why, yeah, it does reflect. And you can't actually switch that light off. You can only turn it down. And I had it down as low as it would let me. And then that focuses. But yeah, it's quite cool. And then actually I haven't used it. I'm guessing this may be a zoom function. And yes, and then you can obviously, it links directly to your phone, so you can record and take photos on that. But the name, I don't know if there's a particular name, to be honest. If you just type in microscope or Wi-Fi microscope will come up on eBay. But you actually got here, there's just the box for it, says Wi-Fi microscope. Pretty cheap, nothing special, but it doesn't hurt to have if you have any issues or concerns about any cards that you purchase. It doesn't hurt to run them under a microscope, just to get a better look at them. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.